Mugello knowing is half the battle. Alright, Mugello, not my favorite track. This one's pretty tough for me. I was able to get a 151, 378. I'm continuing my trying to get used to playing with the brake bias to get some more rotation in some of these corners. I don't know, I set it back 4 clicks to minus 5.5. And I don't know that it's super... It feels tough on the first few corners, like up until we get through the first chicane. But I think it helps get the extra rotation, especially like in that hairpin after the really fast right-hander. There's that hairpin before the final chicane, and then the other hairpin at the end. There's so many turns in this, and I don't know the names off the top of my head, so yeah. I was able to get a 151, 378. Pretty happy with that. I think the fast guys are going to be doing 49s, but like I said, pretty happy with my time here. Quicker than I've done it in the past. I don't know if that's weather. I imagine I've gotten a little bit better, but we'll go along, and I'll stop rambling. We'll show you the fast lap. I'll talk through my thought process on how I think when I'm going around, and then we'll come back for a couple final thoughts here.
That lap was at 151.65, sector 3 times okay. Sector 1 is a 10th off your best. Last lap was a 151.38, sector 3 times quick.
All right, Porsche Cup fixed setup at Mugello. I've adjusted the brake bias back 4 clicks, so minus 5.5 on the dash there. Got us a 151, 378. Let's go through how we did it. Start finish straight, obviously flat out. Our first braking point, excuse me, is going to be this this white line here, just before the 100. It's where the pit exit ends. But we're gonna start braking there. It's pretty heavy on the brakes, so we just want to squeeze it in. Don't just instantly slam it right to the peak. We got to kind of roll into it a little bit. I think. People ask me, how do you not lock up? I think this is part of it. Just, it's not like slow on the brakes, but you kind of got to squeeze it on. So again, pretty, like I said, we're going pretty, again, also, your speed matters with how much you can brake. So when you're going really fast, you can brake more before you lock up. But then you also have to start releasing it a little bit pretty soon there. So we see that we get on it. we approach it with a little bit of a curve, then we're at the peak there, and then we start, you can see we start easing off of it relatively quickly. We don't just like come all the way off, but we just start easing off of it a little bit. And then as we turn in, we keep easing off of it. This is our trail braking. And just as we keep going, we want to hold a little bit of pressure on the brakes as we're getting down. We want to get down to second in this corner, and we're just turning in. This corner, I see a lot of people in the previous times we've gone in here. If you don't approach it right, it's really easy to spin out. But once we hit our maximum point of rotation here, we're gonna start getting on the throttle. And we have to wait a little bit before we can get all the way on the throttle. We got to straighten that wheel out a little bit. If you had it all the way in, like we did there, and we kicked it all the way to the full throttle, at that point, we would be somewhere over there by the time we knew what was up. So we just have to be a little bit patient and wait till we unwind that wheel to get the rest of the full throttle. But we are full throttle through here. We're going to get over to the right-hand side onto this curb on the right. And we're going to start braking. This is a pretty easy on the brakes. Just a little tap on the brakes to get the turn going. And we'll ease off the brakes, and then we can start putting some throttle in and clip these little curb sausage things there. And then we can put some throttle down, and then we're going to have to, as we turn in, we'll ease up and just, again, tap a little bit of brake force. We don't really want to be crossing our inputs as much as I am here. I'm just kind of bad at that. If you can avoid the crossed inputs, bully, that's good. But then we're going to start getting back on the throttle as we come around. We just need that little bit of brake pressure to get the weight on the front wheel so we can get that turn going. And as we straighten out the wheel, we can get the full throttle going, but we still need to keep a bit of wheel in so we can avoid coming over too far here. It's really easy to overshoot this, and this is about as far over as you can go before you get an off track. And if we go much further over than this, we also start hitting the sand, and that can be the end of your day. We would end up in this tire barrier over here, and we don't want that. So we're gonna go full throttle until we get about halfway up this curb here. We'll be right around there where we're going to start braking for the next corner. I hit the red line. Let me start braking. Didn't quite get to the red line. But that was about 50% on the brakes. And then like we hit it. And then we're going to start easing up off of it as we turn in. I don't know why I'm adjusting my wheel, but it helps me concentrate, I guess. And we just keep that little bit of brake pressure as we go. Feed in a little bit of throttle. And we really want to maximize the exit here. So we don't need to slam on the throttle and go full throttle here because we need to get this turn going. So we're lifting. Don't need to quite brake on this one. And we get back in the throttle. Use a little bit of this curb. And then we can get the rest of the way on the throttle. And then it is just full throttle through here. Same deal with this exit as the previous chicane. We don't want to get too far over, much further than this, and some off track. Then my next braking point is kind of the end of this tire barrier on the right here. It's not really well defined for me, so kind of hit that. And it's just a little bit of brakes, 25% that looks like. And we turn in. We want to get our right tires just over the curb on the right here, and we can start putting the throttle in. Go full throttle. There we go. And we'll just point straight down this hill and then start turning in. And then we're just going to kind of breathe on the brakes here. I can't remember if I screwed up on this one or not. This is my fastest lap, but I did make some mistakes. So we're just going to hold a little bit of brake pressure. Yeah, I thought, oh, we've done enough rotation. Maybe we haven't. So don't just hold your brake pressure there. Wait until you get enough rotation going. Then you can, like right there, we can get on the throttle all the way. I have a tendency to get on it too early, and then we end up over here. Again, we don't want to do that. We can use a bit of this curb. And then we just go over here to the left-hand side. And we're going to hit the brakes a little bit again. Again, just not a whole lot on the brake pressure. Probably do a little bit less than me there. And we're going to wait till we get enough rotation going, and then we can get on the throttle. It's a very fast corner. Not quite full throttle yet, so I don't have the rotation going. If we would have gotten a little bit more rotation, we could have gone full throttle. But there we go. We've got the full throttle going. We're going to get all the way to the outside here. And then as we get all the way to the outside, we need to get turned in. We're going to lift it up and just a tiniest amount of brakes. And then we can go back to full throttle. Just have to get that extra rotate. The brakes help us get turned so we don't go off on this exit here. And I think I got scared there, so I lifted a little bit. I think we could have kept it full throttle. I just goofed up. Then we want to brake as we approach this right kind of after this little access road on the left-hand side here. So there we go, brakes, and I think I was a little quick through this. This is a little sketchy here for me, but on this lap I can't remember quite. But we're gonna ease off, turn in, and then we can put the throttle back down. Once we straighten the wheel out, we can get the rest of, after we get through that, we can get the rest of the way on the throttle. And then we're going to just tap the brakes again for this corner. Not super heavy on them, just getting that turn going. We're not really slowing down with the brakes, we're just initiating the turn. Getting the front wheels to grip up so we can get that turn going. And then we can get full throttle again as we come out of the corner here. And then it's just full throttle through here. And then our next braking point is like, I'd say probably this is the 100 marker right here, this line, and then we've got the 50, probably halfway between these. And this is the hardest corner for me. They're all hard, but this is probably the hardest. I guess I started initiating my brakes a little early on this, but we want to peak there at the midway point. And we want to turn in. We don't want to follow the darker patch here. We want to turn in sooner. There we go. Turn in. Just hold a little bit of brake pressure. I always let off the brakes too soon on this corner. This was my best, I think, go through here, but I have a tendency to lift off too soon. So then we just gonna see, and then I blipped the throttle a little bit because like, oh, we can go. No, we need to hold the brakes just a little bit further. And it's not a lot of brakes, it's just a little bit. See, we just got that tiny bit of brake pressure in there. We're turning. Now we can start feeding some throttle in. I was a little happy on it, so we come off. If we would have waited a little longer, we could have been better on the throttle part. And then we can get, as we come out full throttle, we've slowed down enough that we can put that throttle in with that amount of wheel. We still want to keep the car turning to the right because we've got these corners coming up, and I don't like taking them when I'm all the way on the left. So I want to get a little bit of like a little bit of in the middle here. There we go. And then we're going to turn in. These we can take flat out. So we just use all the curb. Just keep our right wheels over here and we're good. Same thing on the next one is just keep our left wheels over here, and we're good. Full throttle through here. Next braking point is going to be the 100 marker. Right here. These are I hit the brakes a little sooner on all these. That's me squeezing onto the throttle, but those are the braking points in my mind. Decent amount of brakes here, 50%. And then we're going to start turning in. And we need a fair bit of trail braking here. just keep that brake pressure going. It's kind of, like in my mind, this is kind of a little bit like a oval corner where you just want to wait until we feel the weight shift over to the back wheels, and then we can start putting the throttle back in. And we're just waiting to get the rest of it. There we go. We've gotten it turned over enough that we can start being full throttle. It's a little sketchy. I was maybe a little soon on it, but it worked out. And then we can just full throttle the rest of the way through. And there we go. Got ourselves a 151 378. So yeah, like I said, not my best track, not my favorite track, but hopefully I'll have. I haven't had good luck here in the past, and that's usually what makes a favorite track for me. The ones that I can consistently do well at. Hopefully we're turning a new leaf, a new page, and we'll have some good luck with these races. If you want to watch along live with those, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights are when I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/thepiltdownman if you want to watch along live. And if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. If you didn't, I get that too. If you think I earned it, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Bye.